So you're welcome back. So the step is how many data you would like to fetch out from the blockchain from PancakeSwap. For example, I am saying I want to start at index 0. Then from index 0, how many data do I want to fetch out? I might say I want to fetch out data like 50. That is 50 pairs I want to fetch from index 0, which is from number 1 pairs. So let's go 50 steps, or we might go more steps than 50. But in our case, to explain the ways computer counts numbers, let's go 10 steps. Then when we click on 10 steps, we click on enter. That means we want to fetch 10 pairs at once. So let me click on enter. Once you click on enter, you are going to see enter loop counts. Loop count is how many times do you want to fetch 10 pairs out of the blockchain. If I put one, it means it will fetch 10 pairs one time. But if I put 2, it will fetch 10 times 2, which is 10 times 10 pairs from blockchain twice. If I put 3, it means it will fetch 10 pairs from the blockchain three times. The reason why we are doing this pagination is because blockchain will not allow you to just make a query and fetch all the 1 million pairs from PancakeSwap. You can not even go up to 10 or not 10. You cannot even go up to 500 to say I want to fetch 500 in one loop out of the blockchain, because of the way blockchain is calculating gas, is using gas. Some blocks uses less gas as the gas limit, and some uses higher gas and so on. So if it is using higher gas and so on, and it will have to, if you're putting a higher number here and the request cannot proceed in one block, it will throw a gas error, meaning that you are trying to fetch data from the blockchain that cannot be fetched in one block. That means the data is much and new blocks has been formed while you are not done. So in that case, you are not going to be able to fetch the pairs. So let's assume we only want to go to PancakeSwap and fetch 10 pairs only once. So I will put 1 here and click on enter. So it shows me that 10 pairs successfully fetched from PancakeSwap, and it completed one loop because I wanted it to fetch 10 pairs once. So let's go ahead and explain something here. Remember how computer counts numbers? So I put from the list I wanted to fetch, I said start from index 0. And from that index 0 you are going to fetch from each one loop that I'm going, you are going to fetch 10 pairs out of all the pairs from the first index. From this 1 million, we are starting from index 0, which is the first the first pair in PancakeSwap is going to be index 0 because computer start from 0. And remember how computer counts numbers. Computer now start from 0 and count 0, 1 to 9. Remember. So now we have now fetched 10 pairs out of PancakeSwap because we started from 0 and specify it to fetch 10 pairs from here. So we have fetched 10 pairs. So before we go ahead and begin with fetching again, let me go and open the exchange 1 pair that we had before. If we go to BAC pairs fetch and we open exchange 1 pairs, you now see we have data inside. If on Visual Studio Code, if I click on Shift Alternative F, it's going to format it in a readable form. So I will do that. So now you see that we have 1 pair. The very first pair in PancakeSwap is CakeBUSD. That's index 0. The second pair is CakeBNB. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we fetch 10 pairs out of PancakeSwap. Remember the step we specified was 10 steps at once. Assuming we say we want to loop 2 times from here, we could have fetched 10 pairs twice, which will be 20. So now we fetch this, but there's something I want to point to you now. The reason why we specify 10 and it actually goes and fetch 10 is because if you check these tokens, there's no malicious token in it. All these tokens are normal tokens. You understand? There's no malicious token. So if there was malicious token in this list, it will skip it and we will not have 10 pairs. We will have only 9 if there was one malicious token. Or if it was not malicious and maybe the liquidity we specified in the settings, while we said we only want to fetch the minimum liquidity of $5,000 from here. If the liquidity in the pair that we want to fetch is not up to that amount we specify, then it's going to skip that token. It's not going to fetch that token at any given point. Okay, so that is it for this. So let's continue fetching our pairs. In our case, what we are going to do is that this is it. So we go back here. So since we are done and we only fetch one pair, we only fetch one loop, we only go one time to fetch 10 pairs out of the blockchain. So we click enter to exit. Okay, so after exiting, remember we already have 10 pairs in our exchange one pairs list. So we will have to click on the pair fetcher again. So we click on the pair fetcher again. And we specify the exchange we want to fetch again. Remember, we are using pagination, that is going to page by page to fetch pairs. 10 is not the minimum you can fetch, and one loop is not the minimum loop you can go, but I'm just using it for demonstration purpose. So remember, we fetched 10 pairs before, so we want to start again. And then this time around that we want to fetch from exchange 1 again, we want to select, yes, I want to continue from where it stopped last time I fetched. Remember, it fetched 10 pairs and stopped at one loop, so we want to continue. So this time that we are continuing, what is the index that we are going to continue? We are not going to continue from index 0 anymore because of the way computer calculate numbers. Remember, what we did was that we fetched 10 and we are going to, when we wanted to fetch 10, we started from index 0, and the way computer counts is I count to 9. So when we want to start fetching again, we are going to start from 10 because computer stop at index 9. So we are going to start at index 10. If we start at index 11, it means with the way computer counts number, we are going to skip 10. So since computer stop at 9, we are going to start from 10. So that's exactly what we want to start. So our starting index now is going to be 10. And because that's what we stop, and we click on enter, how many steps do we want to go again? Let's just say we want to go 10 steps again. And how many loop counts do we want to go? Let's just assume we want to go one loop counts, one loop only. We want to go fetch 10 pairs only once. So we click on enter, and it shows us that 10 pairs has been successfully fetched. Now let's go back to our fetcher and we go to BAC pairs fetch and we go to DEX1 pairs. Remember, it saved new pairs, so it formatted the formats into the default formatting format. The default formatting. So I will have to click on Windows Shift Alternative F to format it again to normal human readable. Now from here we now see that we go to fetch additional 10 pairs. We now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You see, we now have up to 20 pairs right now. So we have gone to fetch the pairs using